Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna and today we're talking about keeping it simple. Because you know what? There's nothing that will overwhelm you more than trying to deal with everything all at once. Now, first of all, I want each and every one of us to determine how we want to run our businesses. Just because I do something a certain way doesn't mean that that's the right way for you to do it. I just do my thing and it works for me. It doesn't work for me. I change it up. You know what? I only want to give out ideas so that if you are having issues, you can try them. And you know what? I like comments in the comment section to tell me, different things as well, because I like to learn too. So keeping it simple is something that I've been playing with for the last little while. It started sort of with getting rid of the tissue paper on my Poshmark orders. Because you know what? It's really, in my books, unnecessary. It's an unnecessary expense. It's unnecessary time trying to figure, wrap it nicely. And it adds to the landfill. So you know what? For me, getting rid of it, it really has helped. It hasn't hindered my business either. Nobody's said anything about it. Because I still try to make sure that the items that I send out are exactly as described, are protected, and they're shipped well. So I'm not putting something glass into a poly mailer, I'm packing it really well. So that was the first step for me, was okay, I'm going to get rid of that step because I don't need it anymore. And it really got me thinking. It's like, okay, what else can I streamline? What else can I keep simple so that I'm not overwhelmed? Because we get a lot of information, and if you watch a lot of content on YouTube or do TikTok or Instagram, you're getting a lot of information all at once from different people, different kinds of sellers, and maybe you're struggling with figuring out what works for you. Because at the end of the day, your business has to work for you, period. It doesn't matter what so-and-so is doing. If you want to try it, great. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't. So anyway, what else have I been doing? What have I been putting into place, and what is coming up in the future for my business? So we're going to start with, pardon me, we're going to start with sourcing. I have, over the last year or so, I have absolutely cut my sourcing way down. I'm really trying hard not to buy things that aren't going to sell. It doesn't always work that way. And I do once in a while go out on a limb and I buy a huge vintage lot from an estate sale because it was really, really cheap. We're going to talk about that in a minute as well. But looking at the cost of goods and the sell-through rate while I'm sourcing has been key. Because you know what? Something might be a great brand, but the style is really old. Or something might be a great brand, but the style just isn't selling. Or the size isn't selling. So looking at my sell-through rate has helped me limit the number of bad buys, which I still get once in a while because it happens. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have just done a purge. I just actually deleted everything from the American account. I've sent out offers on Canada today for those last chance items. There's about 50 items that I am redonating. I would try, buy, sell, trade store or a Style Encore or Player's Closet, but there's not one really close to me. And these items are really old styles. And I figure if they're not getting any interest across both Poshmarks, chances are those types of places aren't going to want them either. And honestly, I just want them out. Psychologically, I want them out of my house and gone. So my goal for this year is when I go to do my purge again, like in August, I want to minimize the number of items that I'm redonating. I want to cut that item number down at least half, because that means that things I'm buying or sourcing are selling. Excuse me. So a lot of those things I want, this to be happening. Source, list, sell, source, list, sell, and not have a purge or have to have a purge at all. That is the goal. Next one is we're going to talk about my prepping. Now, I do steam absolutely everything I possibly can. I do wash hard goods and I wash things that need to be washed. But I got to thinking, it's like, do I really need to wash absolutely everything if I am steaming everything? So I do steam new with tags items. I do not wash them because they have tags on them. Some hand wash things, some dry clean only things, I don't bother to wash them. I do just steam them. Steaming does count a lot of the germs. So I'm thinking of anything with stains, anything that is actually dirty, or anything that kind of has that thrift store smell or a smell. Those are what I'm going to concentrate on washing from now on. So I'm not going to wash absolutely everything, mainly because I steam everything anyway. So that will cut me down time. It also helps open up my days, because I do tend to just do my laundry on the weekend, on Saturday or Sunday, just because it's cheaper. Because I don't know where you live, but here where we live, we have certain times of the day or weekends where electricity and water and things like that, the rates that we pay are much lower. So I concentrate on doing my stuff like that on the weekend, because I'm not up late enough at night to do laundry like at night. So anyway, so for me, it will open up more time. So if I want to go photograph some things, I don't have to wait for the weekend to prep them. All right, moving on. Listing for me takes more time than doing photos. Well, the photos are probably the biggest chunk of the listing. And as you know, if you've been around the channel, I experimented with adding really fancy backgrounds with Photo Room, with their instant backgrounds, to my entire listings. I spent a good month doing all of that. It did look really nice. I liked the way the closet looked. It looked really cohesive to my eye. It didn't make a huge difference in sales. It's not like all of a sudden it's like, woo, bang, my sales are like double and triple. So is it worth that extra step? I don't think so. I do believe that people want to see the item that they're getting. I think that's really important to show that for sure. So I'm no longer going to be adding the instant backgrounds, the fancy backgrounds. I'm going to stick to just plain white. I do use Photo Room for that. I use Pro because I can batch. So I can take photos of 10 items and I can batch all the photos at one time. It saves me time, even though there is an expense for that feature on Photo Room. I think it's like $75 a year or something like that, but we have it on my phone, Paul's phone, and both computers as well, so it works really well. So with photos, I will still absolutely use as many photos as I possibly can, because I think it is important to show as much as the items as you're allowed to. I will also include measurements in my photos, absolutely. Measurements, tags, material tags, and care instructions, because I think it's important that people know that an item is dry clean only. So I will always include all of those. I think measurements are really important because it shows people where you measure something, because everybody has a little bit of a different thing, especially on pants. I measure my waist of my pants just above, and maybe I'll put a picture up of where I measure the waist from. Other people put it right on the waistband. So it just gives them an indication that this is where it's been measured, and I think it really helps if there's a discrepancy or if they have a problem with the fit. Other things that I'm doing is with my descriptions, because I add in measurements and I add in, a little blurb and whatever. I do have a file on my computer that I just copy and paste into the body of every description, and it saves me time that I don't have to type it out every single time. I do list on my computer. I just find it easier. That's just the way I am. I do the photos on my phone, and I load them up from my phone because I find that easier. Sometimes streamlining or making your job easier or keeping it simple is just finding what really works for you, how you feel comfortable, and how you can do it faster, and do it that way. Just do it that way. All titles and descriptions will have keywords, but to be honest with you, there's only so many keywords that apply to certain items. So really, keyword stuffing can be really good, but I still believe that the actual keywords have to pertain to the item. So you can't put all the really good keywords like boho and vintage and I can't think right now, but all of those words, if something is brand new with tags and sort of avant-garde, you know what I mean? So keywords, I'm just not going to worry about it anymore. I'm going to put the keywords that I can think of that I think people will like, And I think that'll be enough. I'm keeping it simple. Also, by looking at things before I purchase them to sell, seeing the sell-through rate, that alone will help as well, because people are going to be looking for those items. All right, so now we've got the listings done, we've got everything else done. I do use Posh Sidekick to share, to send out offers and all that good stuff. So you know what, I do like that this service. It's just so much easier for me. I don't have to worry about it. I do once in a while send out offers on my own, especially if I want to do a certain group of items and send out a bigger discount. I do that as well. Now we're going to go into storing these items. I personally am a little limited in my storage area right now. When we moved, we did downsize in square footage a bit, but it's also configured differently, so it's a little awkward. So I only have so much space in order to store items. Yes, I did just do a purge, so I have the capacity for probably at least, if I look at what I have right now, at least 900 items for available listings. I'm not there yet, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. But that's like me maxing out my storage space. We do have an office space, and we use our office space right now to store a lot of things and to take photographs. And Paul and I were talking about it because we're not using the office space like we thought we would. We prefer our home office to use our computers, to use our internet, because the internet is really expensive at the office. And yeah, we could tether our phones and whatever, but then we're not home. We just work really much better here at home. So we're not using the office space the way that we think we should, and it's really only storage and photographs. So we've been talking about maybe getting out of that lease, seeing if we could do photographs here, and maximizing our storage space here. So over the weekend, I did some photos here. I also did my prep. I did my steaming here. I'm going to take more photos today, because what I did on the weekend is I did photos that, like smaller items. I don't have anything up here. Things like this candle would have been, bras. I did some bras. Anything that could just be flat laid, I did on the weekend. And I have hanging things. I have some dresses and some shirts that I want to do today that I'm going to do in my front room, because it gets the best natural light period in the house. So I'm going to try that today and see how it goes. We're experimenting. We're trying it out. And if it can work and we can sort of come to a routine where, yeah, we're good with it, and I can get all my photos done and I'm happy with them, then we'll probably give up the office space. That alone is going to save us hundreds of dollars a month. It's not horribly expensive, much better here than it was where we used to live. It would have been double. It would have been in the thousands where we used to live. So we've been really happy with it, but we're not using it. So we're talking about saving those hundreds of dollars, and maybe just getting a storage space for some of the stuff that is listed that may be a little more long tail or bulky that we can get out of our basement. So we are talking about that. We're keeping it simple. That's the motto of this year, is keeping it simple. You know, I want to get back to basics with my business, and I want to stop, I don't want to say worrying. I want to stop thinking I'm missing out. It's that fear of missing out, where it's like, if I don't try this, oh my God, I'm not going to get any sales. And that's just not true. You know, the whole thing is, if you have the right items to sell, they will sell. You know, especially if you're doing everything else you're supposed to, you know, listing and sharing on Poshmark and sending out offers and tweaking your listings and doing this and being active on it, whatever platform that you're on. So yeah, this year's motto is keep it simple. I think it will help a lot with just feeling more in control of our business. For me, that's really, really key. I love routine. Routine works really well for me. I also have to learn to be a little more spontaneous in some ways, because sometimes my routine gets mixed up and it kind of bothers me, but that's my issue. So getting into routine but still having that freedom to do other things during the day is key this year. I really want to just get back to basics. I want to stop worrying about maybe I'm not putting in enough keywords and stressing about my listings. I really just want to put them up and get them sold. That's what I want. So that's it for today. I hope everybody is feeling well. I know we are much more better, except for our English. I'll be back on Friday, and we're going to talk about why Poshmark sucks. That's what we're talking about on Friday, just to warn you. Anyway, everybody have a fantastic week, and I'll see you then. Bye!